SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold, and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at the state of all the charts with the CPI data coming through today. We'll start off with, I suppose, trying to break down what the CPI report might look like. So last time we got a CPI, overall inflation was down, but the market dumped massively because core CPI, which basically excludes food and fuel, was up. And so this is something that we could look at. This is the trueflation on the Chainlink Oracle. Actually, it's quite useful to recognise that Chainlink's doing stuff. it's one of the ones I'm going to be buying massively in the capitulation. I already bought on the last capitulation actually. Surprisingly, still up on that. But let's try and break down these figures just for a brief moment, then, shall we? So first of all, food and fuel currently sort of tailing up. Recognize that the CPI that's coming through now isn't, completely up to date. These are crunched numbers from, I believe, 2 months ago. So really what we're going to be looking at is trajectory of core inflation. So forget about food and fuel. Housing, that's still down. Transport, down. Okay. Utilities, up massively, as we would expect it to be, and continuing to go up. So that's going to be part of the core inflation. Health, up, part of the core. Household durables, daily use items, it went down a little bit, but technically it's been trailing up as well. So again, food and tobacco and alcohol, fair enough. We've got clothing, footwear, more or less static. Communications down, education's up. Recreation and culture, well, like I say, we are thinking about a lagging indicator here. We're not looking at September or October. We're more or less looking at August. So technically up still, and others still looking for a peak around August. So I'm expecting, whether we sort of look at this overall slope, which is still down, so CPI generally probably going to show lower inflation, I expect, but really, if it's going to be core CPI that's going to add more pressure to the markets, I think we can deduce from this that we're probably going to be looking at a higher core CPI. And so with that, we should expect the markets to probably even dump further than what they've dumped already. Now, it might not be the case. It might not be the case. If the overall CPI comes through particularly lower than expected, then we might actually see an alleviating bounce, but recognise that that's all we'll be looking for. So as far as Bitcoin's concerned, it's still holding up within this range. We might get a tag down to 18,700, 18,800, maybe picked up around there. I wouldn't be looking for 18,000 to be broken, not yet, not on this anyway. We'll be looking for that to take place a little bit later. Just based on its own chart, it does not look happy below all major moving averages, just like everything else is. There are certain things that I'm keeping my eye on, like XRP, for instance, from the videos I've made these last couple of days. We're looking for the weekly to come down, test this 10 exponential on the Bitcoin pair, coming in currently around 2100 sats, just a little bit above that. That would be a buy for me on that one, given what I've said. Looking for what could be an 80 to 90% bounce from there. I'm definitely interested in that trade, but for the rest of crypto, particularly not very interested in it, nor am I interested in any of the traditional market situation right now. They all look pretty awful, and we were talking about this last bounce before the crash, and I even said it myself. I says I'm not particularly interested in playing it because on a risk to reward basis, the crash is bigger than the last bounce, and so really you're putting way more at risk than you're looking to gain back. So still sitting on the sidelines waiting for lower prices. That's basically what I'm going to do. The only chart that I've been looking to trade and have been trading relatively successfully is oil, and here we go. This is your oil situation. So I made a video these last few days about it because, again, like I say, it's the only chart that I'm willing to trade. Really, it's doing its own thing, and it's got definite ups and downs based on its chart. So I am looking to continue playing this. Took the a layered long position, one here and then one when we saw this bounce. So I'm looking to hold both of those positions up to a new high, which for me is going to be around 104, 105. So another 20% gain. The first one was done around here, up to this level, got out around there. It was an obvious situation, basically based around the 20 21 exponential, so in at the bottom of the formation, out at the major resistance of this exponential. Now I'm back in again, and I'm looking to sell this one up over the next few weeks to around 104. If we break above 104, then things start to get really exciting. They go even higher than this. We start to talk about new all-time highs for oil. But for me, I don't know how you like to trade. You might think, you know, oh, why didn't you just hold that position? Because I wanted to take all the money, right? I needed the money. This is my this is how I make my living, isn't it? So you know, if you don't realise your unrealised gains, it's not gains at all. So looking to get this one, sail it all the way up to here, and then take profit on that one, and then we'll see where we go from there. Again, there's all kinds of fundamental reasons for why oil could still remain below this level, and there's lots of fundamental reasons to expect it to continue up to a new all-time high. But from a trader's perspective, when you're using charts, you buy supports, you sell resistances, rinse and repeat. So as far as the overall direction of altcoins is concerned, we can look at the Bitcoin dominance for what it's worth. It's doing the same kind of thing that it did previously. There might be a reaction around here. This is where we got a pullback last time on the 21 exponential again on the weekly. So if we do, for whatever reason, have favourable CPI data come through, I actually think that everything, you know, altcoins will outperform Bitcoin on this bounce if we get it. If we don't, then we shoot straight up to probably around this level of around 42.4% dominant. And maybe we get a resistance around there again. That's the centre of your Bollinger Band, your 20 weekly. But if we break from there, then we're going all the way up here. Again, look, I'm not looking to play any kind of Bitcoin or altcoin situation other than the one that we've found on XRP, which for me is a trade worth taking. But again, even if I am looking to take that trade, that trade's not going to be present for at least one what looks like, you know, best part of another 10% down on its Bitcoin pair. So that means more carnage regardless. Yeah, so we're looking for another 11% pullback on that one before I even enter that trade. And again, you know, risk to reward on this one is reasonable, because you'll be looking for, you know, a little bit of pullback on this one at best, with a top target of around about 80 to 90% gain, so almost doubling your money on that one. So it looks pretty good to me, but again, we're not there yet, so I can't take the trade until we meet the criteria. Right, so there's quite a lot of information there crushed into one quick small video for you. A bit of food for thought. Still, like I say, I would still sit back and wait and see what the CPI says. We've basically done a very crude way of crunching the numbers to suggest that core CPI is going to be higher than overall CPI. So we might see, like I say, inflation coming down, but core CPI looks like it's going to continue to read a little hotter than expected. And that's going to spook the markets, probably even more than they've already been spooked recently. So I'm happy to sit back and let things ride. Not really particularly interested in taking any positions on a day like today, especially when pretty much every single chart looks pretty awful. It's only XRP that looks okay, to be fair, and even that, you know, it doesn't require an entry point for another 11%. So right, good luck out there if you're looking to trade these markets today. Like I say, the only thing that I'm comfortable playing is the oil situation, and again, you know, taking those positions already, stop losses are in profit, so I can sit back and just let that do its magic. I'm pretty confident it's going to work out. It's a very easy scenario to try and trade this, but if it doesn't, no big deal, no losses on my side, and then it'll be another way of looking to get back in on this trade, because I'm pretty confident that we are going to get back up there, whether we do it on the first pass or the second or whatever. You've got to take the risk off the table by sticking your stop loss in, especially in this scenario where we've cleared these moving averages and now it looks like we want to try and trend up. Although it might not happen today, because let's face it, oil is still going to be it's still going to get hurt by the Dixie if and when the Dixie continues to move up, and if there is a day that the Dixie starts to break out once again, it will be today. Right, leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.